Hi and welcome to East Riding Library's Yoga and Wellbeing. So today's session that we're going to do, which is going to be a chair and a standing based practice. You don't need to have a sticky mat or non-slip mat for this. We're going to be working on feeling grounded and safe, particularly at this present moment. We may be feeling slightly anxious. So we're working on releasing trapped stress in the body as an energetic release. So if you're feeling quite fatigued as well, this is a really good practice. We will be using the chair as support for the standing section. We'll be moving through a nice kind of warm-up, working on the eyes, the wrists, standing practice followed by a nice deep relaxation at the end. So, coming to the edge of your seat, if that feels available to you, hands resting gently on your thighs and lifting through the crown of your head, spine long, feeling nicely relaxed in the shoulders and the shoulder blades and the arms. Just find yourself and arrive in your seat. And one really good trick to de-stress the mind and make yourself feel safe is to work on being aware of the surroundings that you're in. So first of all, just be aware of sounds. Sounds such as the sound of my voice. Any sounds in your room that could be perhaps the whir of the central heating, maybe traffic outside. At the same time, be aware of your feet and whatever is holding or supporting you, so you may feel the weight of your body on the chair. And just notice the contact between your hands and the tops of your legs. You might be aware of the textures perhaps of the contact between your feet, your hips and your hands. And then see if you can focus on your lower body today. Focus on the muscular strength. So this is a really good technique to help you feel centered and safe and secure and calm. Looking around the room, I know it's a very strange thing to do because you probably feel very familiar with the space that you're in. Looking at entrances and exits, windows for example, but you're actually tricking your fight or flight fear response that you're in a safe place. So you can look around at the shapes and the colours of the light. Fantastic. And then working from the external into the internal may be a really good idea. Just start tuning into your body now and maybe closing your eyes if that feels available to you, or just a soft gaze just ahead of your feet. Fantastic. And just tune into what's going on inside of you. Just notice your thoughts. You might want to notice how fast your mind is racing. Is it distracted, for example? Become aware of your physical body, checking in internally, noticing the areas of tension, any patterns that you're holding. And you may notice on an emotional level, so depending on how you're feeling, see if you can allow these things to come to you rather than pushing them away. This is a very good mindful awareness practice, helps you to deal with the stress by focusing on your self-care. When we notice, we adjust our life accordingly. Listening to our body is so important. And if anything challenges crops up, anything emotionally, physically or mentally, just pause and observe the breath. Notice the inhales and the exhales. Now if you're stressed, you may be breathing in your in your secondary muscles. So in the shoulders may raise up. Okay. We want to breathe down into the lower abdomen, into the pit of the abdomen. So nice deep inhales, nice deep exhales as the background to this practice, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now, if you have got anything coming up that's quite challenging and you want to create some space between you and it, naming to tame, labelling anything, any challenges that are going on for you right now can help you to acknowledge it and to release it. Fantastic. And then set an intention for this practice. What do you want to gain from this practice? It may be something to do with your own self-care, a little bit of calm. A lot of these certain things that you can use in this practice can be standalone or can be for the full 20 to 30 minutes out of your day. And then when you feel ready, raise your gaze, open your eyes, and we'll start with a chair sun salutation. So again, feet parallel at trade tracks, hip distance apart, knees stacked gently over the ankles, nice lifting through the crown of the head. Think think about your posture, that's really important. So if you're working from home a lot on a computer, this will really help, particularly if you're slouched over a desk. Lovely. So, nice big inhale. Take the arms wide. Make the movement as long as the breath. Take your fingertips all the way up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bend your arms, cactus arms, elbows in line with your shoulders. Wonderful. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, fold from the hip crease. Fold from the hip crease with a flat back. Lead with your heart centre. Drape yourself all the way down and bring your head, crown of the head, down towards the floor. Nice big inhale, half lift. Lengthen your spine and the crown of the head. Beautiful. Exhale, fold, crown of head towards floor. Inhale, arms up and wide. Wide, 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 wide. Fantastic. Exhale, squeeze those shoulder blades together, cactus arms. Inhale to lift and lengthen. And exhale to fold hip crease, crown of head towards the floor, leading heart centre. Inhale, half lift, lengthen spine, crown of the head. Exhale, fold. And inhale, come all the way up with a nice flat back. Beautiful. Fingertips to touch towards the ceiling. Exhale, squeeze them shoulder blades together. Nice little back bend, open up the chest. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Reach, reach, reach. And exhale, fold, flat back, head towards the floor. Beautiful. Nice. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach, reach. Arms all the way wide. Breath as long as the movement. And then bring your hands on the exhale down towards heart centre. Beautiful. Let's move into a nice quad psoas stretch, really helping the breathing and digestion. So, interlace your fingers, palms facing you, then flip your grip so that your palms are facing away. Nice big inhale, lift to lengthen, reaching through left and right side body. Tucking in those lower ribs so you've got a nice gentle curve in the back, but natural curve. Perfect. Exhale, bring knee to chest, interlace fingers around the shins. Tuck your chin in, bring your head down towards your knee. Inhale, lengthen. Beautiful. And drop that foot to the floor. Exhale, squeeze knee into chest, drop chin towards your knee. Inhale, drop foot, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, alternating knee each time, moving with the breath. Drop foot, inhale. Perfect. Exhale, opposite knee. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze knees into chest, chin towards knee. Drop that knee, inhale. One last time, both sides. Exhale, bring knee to chest. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, through, shining your palms to the ceiling. Exhale, bring knee towards the chest. One last time. Shine, shine, shine. Lift and lengthen through left and right side bodies. And exhale, come back to your centre. Perfect. Wonderful. Breath and movement. So this is something that I like to do when I'm feeling a little bit stressed and anxious. You can do this at any time. You may be in a queue, for example, in the supermarket. But we're working on breath and movement, and this is a really, really grounded activity, so we can walk on the spot. So when you're feeling anxious, we're moving out of the head into the body and focusing on the feet and focus on the muscular dynamics in the legs. So nicely on the inhale, lift one leg. You can use your core strength here. This is a nice little strengthener as well. And then exhale, press the foot into the floor. Really feel that sensation of the foot on the floor. Inhale, lift one leg. You can use your hands gently to guide your leg upwards as well. And exhale, down. Press into the floor. Focus on exploring that sensation. Keep alternating. Lift. Inhale, exhale, lower. And focus on that muscle dynamic. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. So when we're anxious, we get stuck in our heads and ruminating thought. The more we come out of our heads and focus on the ground, the more that we can feel calm and centered. So keep alternating. Inhale to lift and exhale to lower. Focus on that sensation of muscle dynamics in your feet touching the ground. Excellent. You may want to notice what's going on with your core as well. A really good centering practice. Exhale down. So you can do this as long until you feel calm with this little bit of walking on the spot, or even walking on the spot if you're standing. And come to centre and then just check in with your body. It's always really good to notice. Slow yoga has more mental benefits than fast, vigorous yoga because you're noticing what's going on with your body at all times. Excellent. So now we're going to work on a little bit of a standing sequence after that breath and movement. So we're going to move through with the breath and observe the breath and focus on the muscle dynamics with the standing practice. So you may want to get your chair. So I'm going to turn my chair this way. Okay, lovely. And we're going to work on a little bit of a chair to tree flow and then moving into a version of down facing dog and triangle. Working on these major muscle groups to do with our fight or flight stress response here. Trap stress, we want to release it because we need to get rid of that tension, and it always tends to tighten up in this area. Excellent. So we're going to come into a little bit of a chair tree flow. You can, if you want, turn the chair around if you feel as though you want to use it for a little bit of balance, or you may have a wall near you to help you. So when we think about a chair tree flow, just quickly demonstrating, you can put your hand on the back of the chair. A tree versions, you've got two options, or three options, depending on how you're feeling today. You're lifting through the crown of your head, lifting your lower abs up, ankle, heel out to ankle, rotating that knee outwards, nice strong standing leg, focus on that muscular dynamic there. You can place your foot just underneath your knee, okay, or you can place it just above your knee, okay, depending on how you feel, rotating that knee outwards. Brilliant. So we're going to work on a little bit of a flow, really good if you're feeling disengaged or distracted. We tend to zone out when we're very stressed and we drop into this immobilized state. So, coming into a chair pose, I'm going to turn from the side, feet parallel like train tracks, about hip distance or a fist distance apart. Sitting on your imaginary stool, take your hips back, just check that your knees are not knocking together, that they are 2 hip distance apart. Knees, make sure they're not going too far past your toes. You're sitting on that imaginary stool, you're activating the thighs and feeling that muscle dynamic and the strength and power in your legs. That's really important. Helps you feel centered and grounded and calm, okay? Lift your lower abs up to your head. Nice tall spine, so you're not collapsing forward. Perfect. Now, hands to here, or if you want to take your arms up, depending on how you're feeling, but relax them shoulders all the way down your back. Okay, perfect. So we're moving from here to your version of tree. Okay, and we can do that in your own time. Okay, so this is your exhale, chair, and then moving to your tree, straighten out that leg, root to rise, powerful and strong, feeling that connection with the floor. Let's go. Are we ready? Okay, come into your chair position, whichever hand position you've got there. Here's your exhale. Check your knees, keep your chest lifted, spine long. Nice. And then inhale, come into your version of tree. Lift and lengthen, power all the way up. Really grounded through that foot. Excellent. Watch your foot placement. Think about the integrity of your pose. Keep your feet nicely grounded, weight in the heels. Come back into your chair on the exhale. Lovely. And inhale, use that chair if you want to balance. Ooh, as you can see, I definitely need it. Use that back of that chair just to help. Exhale, back into your imaginary bar stool, sitting there, spine long, chest lifted, and again, inhale, you do nicely grounded. So, focus is really important. Look at a spot on the floor. This is what helps you to feel less disengaged and distracted. Chair one more time, wonderful, and then inhale, lift all the way up into your wonderful tree pose. Now, grounding in this tree pose is really nice to imagine you've got roots going through the floor, you're lifting up through the crown of the head, lifting those lower abs up, nice and powerful. Fantastic. So, what we're going to do then is we're going to do that the opposite side. And just going to wiggle your hips a little bit because we work really, really hard and use those outer hip muscles. So, we're going to swap. Okay, let's do that on the opposite side, that little bit of a flow. So we're working this time on our right foot, or make sure you do the opposite, whichever one you've done. So come to your chair flow, sit in your imaginary stool, chest lifted, spine long, lifting up those lower abs. Okay, use the chair to help you come into your little tree or your large tree. Okay, feel grounded, use that chair, look at a spot on the floor. This is the really helps, it's very mindful, very focused, really good. Exhale down into your chair. This really helps me to focus. I practice this kind of move when I'm having a break from being on Zoom or Teams if you're working from home. And then inhale, lift to lengthen. Rotate that knee out, nice and strong and powerful. Okay, exhale down. Third time, lucky, nice, excellent. And root to rise, lift, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, come into chair pose, checking that foot placement nice and strong. Feel that muscle dynamics, explore that. Feel grounded and centered. Inhale, lift to lengthen, all the way up. And then exhale. A little bit of flow is good. This is very good energetic release for the body, getting rid of the stress that's building up. It's not going anywhere at the moment, is it? Especially if you're working from home on a computer, and then release. So you can wiggle your hips a little bit from side to side. So working on a little bit more stretch here on these major muscle groups, particularly what we find is if we're doing a lot of seated work, our hamstrings get quite tight, don't they? So we've got two options here. You can do dog, okay, you can do downward facing dog with the chair at that back end there and reach out in front of there, or you can do that with your hands on the chair facing you. So it's a nice good stretch, gets into the shoulders as well. So feet again parallel like train tracks, hip distance apart, lovely. Work on having quite soft knees, particularly if your hamstrings are quite tight. You might wear where your hip crease is, fold with a flat back a little bit so you've got a nice long spine. Place your hands on the chair seat and step back until you feel that you're getting that stretch. Now as you can see, I'm dropping my ears sort of parallel with my tops of my arms. My knees are soft and nicely bent, and I'm feeling that stretch all the way across the back in between my shoulder blades. So you get a nice deep stretch. And you might want to pedal your knees. So you might pedal your feet if you want. You can lift one heel and then the other, or you can bend and straighten the alternative leg. So you get a nice stretch into the hamstrings there. Lovely. Excellent. And you can feel that muscle dynamic. Just focus on the strength and the power. Focus on the contact between your feet and the floor. Feel that muscle dynamic going on in the back of the hamstrings there. Feel that, explore that sensation. You might feel that nice stretch underneath the armpits and in between the shoulders. So this is a nice, gentle one to do, keeping those knees nice and soft. So this is a version of downward facing dog. So coming now into triangle pose. So in terms of foot placement, I'm going to take my left foot forward and that's pointing in that direction. My right foot is pointing towards you. So it's a heel to arch alignment, that heel to arch alignment. Fairly wide-ish, as comfortable as you want to be. Okay, we're going to imagine that we're between a pane of glass, two panes of glass. So imagine that you've got a broom handle going through your top, okay, and really activate those feet. So press down as the ball of your big toe and your big toe mound to activate the inner thigh muscles. Squeeze these quads a little bit so it releases the hamstrings a little bit. So as I shift this way, my hip goes that way, and my arms are straight and shoulder blades relaxed, and very gently place your hand on the chair seat like so, and if that feels comfortable to you, so you've got one long line of energy, your neck in line with your spine. Take your hand up if that feels comfortable, look up to your top hand. Nice little alternative is take your hand behind your back. So you get a nice little gentle stretch. If you want to get a nice stretch in the neck, just very gently drop your left ear towards your shoulder. Now what you might find in triangle is your hips go back and your chest goes forward. Especially if you've got tight hamstrings, you might want to slightly adjust that so your chest goes slightly back and your hips go forward and you get a nice stretch. Wonderful, excellent. So you're getting and really squeeze those quad muscles, really feel that power going on in the lower legs. Focus on that strength and explore that sensation of pressure, muscle dynamics, lovely. And then inhale to come all the way back up, lovely, and release. So we're going to do that the opposite side. I'm going to move the chair just so that I don't have my back towards you. So remember our foot placement, foot going that way, foot going this way. Okay, pressing down to the big toe mound and the big toe. That activates the inner thigh. Really good because it works all the way up to the pelvic floor, your core as well. So all of this goes all the way up to your core, which comes at the top of your tongue. So nicely activate the thigh muscles Arms nicely outstretched so you're pushing the walls away from you. And then exhale, drop that hand on the chair, hand all the way up or behind your back. You can drop your right ear towards your shoulders to get that neck stretch. Oh, remember to keep the integrity of the pose with the feet placement, activating your thigh muscles and making sure that you're not taking your hips back and your chest forward. You're keeping yourself in this imaginary 2 panes of glass. So you might want to, again, explore that sensation of pressure, muscle dynamic. Feel grounded and centered. Lovely. I like to do this with my arm behind my back because you get that nice deep neck stretch, which is lovely. And then inhale to come up. Lovely. And release. Perfect. So we're going to move back down to the chair. So if you've got eye strain at the moment, particularly if you are working on a computer, one thing you can do is eye yoga. So, working on rubbing your hands together, come to the front of your seat, rub your hands together, and just do a little bit of cupping first. Place the palms, warm palms, over your cheekbones, and place your fingers over your forehead, and just look at the colours, keep your eyes open and just look. And then just gently into darkness. So the warmth is really, really nice. And then release. Another thing that I like to do when I've got eye strain, particularly if I'm looking at a screen all day, thumbs. So you're not pressing, you're pressing into the ridge, the bone, around the orbital of your eyes. So just leaning slightly forward, just press either side of your, just under your eyebrow centre, just either side of you, and just gently press around the eye socket, not on the eye itself, but on the ridge of the bone. And you can go from the inner corner to the outer corner, and then just as you bring it back to that inner corner, just gently press. And then rub the hands together again. So, you get eye strain, tension headaches as well, particularly in the neck. And just do a little bit more cupping, rub the hands together, place it over the eyes. Lovely. Perfect. And just release. I'm just going to put my glasses back on, of course. And you might feel as though a lot of typing, so you might want to work a little bit on carpal tunnel, for example. So you can get your hands, okay, make them into fists, and just circle. And the opposite direction. Fantastic, brilliant. And another one that I like to do is called Stop in the Name of Love. Stop in the name of love. And then very gently on the exhale, pull your fingers back. And release. And the other one, stop in the name of love, pull your fingers back. Fantastic, in release. And then just roll your shoulder blades out, nice. Nice little bit of circles with the head. Just draw, imagine that you've got a pen in the top of your head, just draw, and then opposite direction. Just feels good to loosen up all that tightness. Circles are good. Excellent, perfect. So, let's move on to a little bit of a hip stretch here. So, coming into a figure of 8, I'm going to outstretch my right leg and place my left ankle on top. And then, as far as my leg wants to go, I'm going to lift that bottom leg so that my knee's just over the ankle. It doesn't matter how far you lift that up. So, you can stay here, that's perfectly fine. If you want to go a little bit further, inhale to lift and lengthen, and exhale, fold. And you can just stay here, and you can feel that stretch in the outer hip. Now, if you've got sciatica, what happens is the sciatic nerve gets trapped in the piriformis muscle. Not to be confused, you can have the same experience if you've got herniated disc, but this is a good one for sciatica. But also tight hips, jump jaws, the emotion, everything tightens up when you're stressed. So inhale to lift and lengthen, and then we'll do that the opposite side. So you can straighten out that leg to help you put that ankle on top. Lift it as far as it wants to go. Flex your feet. Nice big inhale to lift and lengthen, and leave with your heart centre. You get a nice deep stretch. If you've got a table in front of you because you're working on a desk, you can take your arms out and you can get that extra stretch in the underneath the armpits and in the shoulder blades. It's a nice little one to do. Perfect. And inhale to lift and lengthen. And just to finish off before we do a little bit of a guided sort of relaxation, just come into a nice twist. So come into the front edge of your chair. Nice big inhale, lift through the crown of the head, and then exhale, twist. You can take your opposite hand to knee, and if it feels comfortable, you can look behind you. So inhale to lengthen before you come back to the centre. Remember to lengthen through the crown of the head, exhale, twist, nice little spinal movement. And inhale to lengthen before you come back to centre. So quick, brief meditation that we're going to do here. It's a body point guided relaxation to do with the breath. Option to have your eyes closed, or to just look just gently ahead of you. Nice tall spine, lifting through the crown of the head, back just away from the chair. And just relax into arriving in your seat, noticing the contact between whatever is holding and supporting you. Eyes closed, taking some nice deep inhales, and I want you to imagine that on the inhale your breath is going all the way up towards your head. And then on the exhale, imagine that your breath is going all the way down to your right foot. On the inhale, coming all the way up towards your head. And your exhale going all the way down into your left foot. And then inhale all the way up to the top of the head. Then imagine that your breath is going all the way down. On the exhale to the tailbone, the base of the spine. And then inhale to top of the head. Exhale to navel centre. Inhale to top of head. Exhale to heart centre. Inhale to top of head. Exhale down to right hand. Inhale to top of head. Exhale down to left hand. All the way back up towards the top of the head. Exhale down towards the base of the neck. Inhale to top of head. Now imagine on the exhale your breath is going down from the top of your head to your brow centre, and inhale to the crown of your head. And then lastly, bring your attention and imagine that your breath is resting in your heart centre, expanding and contracting in this particular space. You can stay here with this breath awareness, resting in stillness in the heart centre. Or if you feel ready, if you want to come out of this practice, start to become aware of sounds, your feet on the floor and your hips on the chair. Awareness of the tension of your hands, the texture, the contact with your thighs and the contours. And then gently open your eyes, look around you, notice shapes and colours and lights in the room. And thus enter the end of this particular practice. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.